Reuters. GETTYWill Theresa May end up in the middle of a spat between Brussels and Poland. The dispute between the EU and Poland's ruling Law and Justice PiS party began in the summer following plans to overhaul the country's judicial system, which have been dubbed a grave threat to the independence of courts by a European human rights watchdog. Critics believe the planned reforms would rig the courts because they would allow officials to install politically appointed judges. The planned reforms have divided Poland and sparked mass protests earlier in 2017, but despite criticism, there are no signs that the ruling party is giving up on the proposed overhaul. The Poles' reluctance to give up the plans could see the European Commission trigger Article 7 of the EU Treaty, which could ultimately remove Poland's voting rights in Brussels. However, it would require a majority vote of 22 countries from the 28 EU members to begin an investigation, and all other members would have to agree to remove Warsaw's voting rights. Hungary, a key Warsaw ally, has already vowed not to vote for Poland to lose its EU voting rights, and Polish officials have targeted Britain as another potential ally in their ongoing dispute with Brussels. Poland and Britain enjoy close relations, and Theresa May is expected to visit the Eastern European country later this week to meet the new Polish Prime Minister, Mateusz Morawiecki, who succeeded Beata Szydło last week following a cabinet reshuffle. Polish PM Morawiecki shares a joke with his Hungarian counterpart in Brussels last week. Should Theresa May back Poland in its ongoing dispute with Brussels, she risks the wrath of France and Germany after Emmanuel Macron and Angela Merkel vowed to back the Commission if it triggered Article 7 for the first time. The influential pair have already shown themselves to be among the more hostile member states towards Brexit, and Mrs. May will be looking to avoid worsening relations with her counterparts in Paris and Berlin. The European Commission is already suing Poland, along with Hungary and the Czech Republic, for refusing to host asylum seekers. All three countries have refused to take in any refugees under the bloc's mandatory quota scheme, disputing the fact it was adopted by qualified majority vote and citing security concerns. Despite a drop in the number of refugees seeking asylum in Europe following tighter border controls and a range of EU-funded projects to discourage migration to Europe, the three Eastern European countries have maintained a hardline stance against allowing more migrants to settle. They claim the mainly Muslim refugees have no place in the predominantly Christian societies and cite security concerns following a series of terror attacks carried out by Islamist militants in Western Europe.